It's 2025, and somehow the 2016 XXL class still runs rap. Uzi, 21, Kodak, Yachty, Denzel. You can hate, but you can't ignore the facts. What's going on, y'all? It's willarmanii. I hope everybody's feeling good today. If you are, please make sure to subscribe. I want to get into today's topic. 2016 class still runs the game, and I know a lot of people might be thinking about the 2025 freshman class and everybody clowning on Ian's freestyle and on all these different things, but what we have to really think about is there really might not ever be a class like the 2016 one. There's a few reasons and few things that go into that. 2016 wasn't just a moment. It was a cultural reset. The energy, the look, the DIY attitude, it made people care. When the 2016 class came about, rap was in a very interesting spot where there wasn't too many different acts coming out or people really like pushing the boundaries. And the 2016 class had tons of artists that were truly pushing the boundaries. Artists like Uzi and Yachty and even at the time 21 Savage were making music that wasn't like the music from before. Uzi had extremely melodic and extremely different takes on rap, along with Yachty making songs that a lot of people didn't even consider rap. 21 Savage with his crazy attitude. I don't think it's that we'll never get music like that again, but I think there was such a cultural difference at the time. And even though that 2016 class was doubted and even laughed at, they outlasted most of that criticism. And we can argue that a lot of those artists from that period are still not here right now, like Lil Dicky and Designer, where Lil Dicky kind of took a break off of rap and started getting into acting, and Designer kind of just altogether isn't at the forefront the way that he used to be. But most of the artists in this list are still relevant to this day. We gotta talk the longevity stats. It's not just the nostalgia. They've evolved. Lil Uzi Vert's longevity, including Eternal Take, Pink Tape, and his influence on rage rap cannot be ignored. His influence on rage rap and melodic rap as a whole, his influence on a whole generation can't be ignored. Now, here's one thing that I do like to think about. Although Uzi had a very influential career, I don't think he's the most influential artist. And what I feel like is his music had an influence and impact on rap, but there's not a lot of artists where you could be like, oh yeah, that artist definitely had inspiration from Uzi. And even the artists that people would like to argue that, Trippy and Juice for example, their inspirations were artists like Future and Thug, not Uzi. And Uzi was inspired by Future and Thug, so we gotta keep that in mind. Nonetheless, Uzi definitely outlasted that, and even though his most recent project, Eternal Take 2, didn't do as well, we can't ignore the fact that he's still relevant. 21 Savage had an amazing transformation from Savage Mode 2 to collabs with Drake and a Grammy win. I mean, we can't ignore that 21 has really done his thing. Yachty has been doing his thing recently, and I actually find it amazing that although Yachty started to fall off a little bit, he literally had one of the biggest comebacks I've ever seen ever since Poland, and consistently has been going pen to pressure and making some of the best songs that we've heard in recent time, and still making fire. Kodak might not be doing extremely hot, but he's still relevant too, and I still see Kodak on news outlets all the time. So why has this class outlasted, and what is the difference between this class and the 2025 class? Well, the class of 2016 kept reinventing. They weren't just surviving, they were evolving and setting trends. Newer artists, especially a lot of the artists from the 2025 class, borrow from their styles. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't do this sometimes. I'm not gonna sit here and act like other artists aren't able to do this. You're allowed to take inspiration. You're allowed to take inspiration from other artists and other creators alike. But it's more borrowed energy than personal energy compared to the 2016 class and compared to classes before this class. I also think a big factor to play is that this 2016 class and every artist in it, not every, but most, had extremely great adaptability. To me, the most adaptable artists I could see here are 21 Savage and Lil Yachty. I mean, over the last few generations, every time there's been a new underground sound or just a new wave of music, they've been able to really well adapt to the trends and really well adapt to the space that music is in. And I think artists from before this time period, maybe Travis Scott's, and I don't want to hate, but a lot of the artists from before that time period and maybe a little bit after have been having trouble adapting to what's new and adapting to what people really want to feel from them and what people want to feel in general, which has made them not last as long. These artists shaped how new artists move now. And I know this was a quick conversation, but it's just something that I wanted to think about because the 2016 class is so different from this year's XXL class. Not that this year's XXL class is bad, and I actually think that the pickings that they did, although a lot of people are hating, I really enjoy, and I really think that it makes sense for right now. But not only does XXL not have as big of an impact anymore because social media and TikTok and YouTube has taken storm when it comes to the influence on rap, but I don't really think anything is going to be like that class because it was just unique within its own think. The game doesn't just remember the 2016 class, it follows their blueprint. And it's kind of funny how ever since that class, a lot of artists take influence from those artists. XXL takes influence from even creating that class, and they didn't even know, you know, they couldn't have predicted that it was going to be the biggest. They just did it, and it ended up working out for them. Who do you think is the most influential from that class right now? And who do you think is going to be the most influential from this year's XXL class? I'm really interested in this topic, and if you are, please make sure to subscribe. I got more content coming on the way. If you want to follow me or any of my own music, you could do that. Follow me on Instagram, willarmanii with 2 I's. It's been your boy Willarmanii. Please stay positive.